normative governance of our lives. If it's not found in the Scriptures, it's not supposed to be implemented. Every Billy Graham said, every principle of life can be found in the Scriptures. Every principle of life. And he's not talking about cold waters on the right side and warm waters on the left side. He's not talking about that. He's talking about things that are important to life. Every single one of those principles are in Scripture. So when any time a government is operating, any decision they should bring in, if they don't have it in their own council, they should bring in God.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Should bring in godly men and say, what does the Scripture say about this? If you bring in godly men on abortion, you think the godly men would say, oh yeah, the Bible allows that. You think godly men would say the Federal Reserve is a fair system? No. After the godly men were told full disclosure of the federal system, they would go, no, that's unequal. That's unequal protection under the law. That's organized crime. That's organized theft.
So, are you aware of the Attorney General Loretta Lynch? Essentially, she helped protect HSBC Bank. All this information came out about a month out, and all the documents show that she protected a bank that was helping money launderers who were funding terrorists in Mexico, the drug wars, and also the terrorists in the Middle East. And she knew well aware of their money laundering and what they were doing with their money, and she still protected them by giving them a fine instead of prosecuting them on a criminal basis. Are you aware of that?
No, I haven't heard anything of it.
Okay, well, that's just... I mean, it's criminal. She allowed that. I mean, it's like, why are you guys in prison? She should be in prison. She should be in the orange jumpsuit. The whistleblower who was auditing tried to tell people multiple times that, hey, this is what's going on. You guys, these are the people that are involved, and it was a lot. It was a lot of people, and they all kept, oh, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. This is just, our modus operandi. Don't talk about it. And then when it finally went to Loretta Lynch, she had all the evidence in the world. And she ended up making backdoor deals, like meetings with the actual bank. And instead of prosecuting any of the people, she just gave them a fine, and that was it. So essentially just protecting them. It's a very interesting... I'll read you the article. It's very, very interesting. Okay, so we'll move on.
Yeah, or send it to us.
Yeah. Okay. The IRS Criminal Investigation Special Agents... respond to terrorism by analyzing complex, unusual financial transactions. Okay? I want you to comment on how any of this relates to you. Okay? Because we know Judge Rogers told Pastor Hovind he was head of a criminal operation. Okay? And so therefore, guilt by association, that's what these people think. Okay.
Sure. But what we found out is that courthouse where Judge Rogers is operating and all those U.S. Marshals and all those attorneys is not government land. So we believe that we can pull them into a community court and force them to answer questions under oath. It's called a court of record. It's found in the 7th Amendment. It's civil. But I don't think they have any excuse, legal freedom not to come in when we summons them. And we're going to ask them. We're going to ask Rogers under oath. So, did you say that Kent Hovind's crime was worse than raping a child? Yes or no? Did you say that? Then we'll bring in 20 witnesses that were sitting in the jury room, and we'll say, we heard her say it. And then we're going to ask her, did you tell the court reporter to delete that from the record? Yes or no? Then we'll have the court reporter in the witness stand. We'll ask her the same question. We believe we got, I don't know, anyway, you know how easy it is to sneak recorders into a courtroom? It's easy. Little ink pens. This court reporter judge could possibly go to jail for a long time. How they answer that question? A long time. So, anyway, that's gonna happen. We're gonna bring that in. It's extremely powerful court. It's the community court. Since that activity did not occur on government land, it's ripe for that court. They cannot stop it. Tremendous power. Tremendous power. We're going to bring in Scott Snyder and ask him all the questions we want. These are questions that the attorneys won't ask him in a U.S. court because attorneys are controlled by the United States judges and so forth. They don't want to have their scam exposed. The IRS has a place. The federal government has a place. Our question will bring out the fact that Kent Hovind had...
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
Our question will bring out that no duty exists for Kent Hovind to ever work for the government and withhold taxes from those workers. The law is very clear on that. And as far as the structuring, we can go to the floor debates of the people that put the structuring all together. And they're going to tell us that this does not apply to any activity unless clearly evidence is criminal. Hence, activity wasn't associated with criminal in any way at all. All that is designed for if there's criminal activity going on. They twisted that law. The people that brought the bill had no intention of applying it to people that just went down and randomly pulled out money. It's extremely exciting that we're going to be able to do this. Yeah. Extremely exciting. Does that answer some of your question?
Yes. Now I'm going to go through the IRS bullet points as to what they deem terroristic activity, and then I'd like you to comment on it. Okay, number one. The leadership and members, and these are people that are banking in the U.S., the leadership and members of extremist groups who have committed tax evasion, money laundering, or currency violations, and that prompts the IRS to investigate them criminally.
Sure. Kent Hovind's the church ministry, yeah, they can investigate all they want, but they have to have grounds to win a verdict in a U.S. court. We could show that they had no grounds to even prosecute him. It was a violation of law to even prosecute him. These issues were...
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
These challenges were not brought out in court because the U.S. attorney is not allowed to do it. If a U.S. attorney would do that, he would be blacklisted in their system. He would lose his license, probably, his association. But they organize that court system that if you don't have somebody that's knowledgeable about their procedures, you're just very bad condition. And it's designed that you have to rely on that person. And then once you rely on that person, the judge is telling you to shut your mouth or we're going to duct tape it. And or take you into another room where you can't even participate in your own trial. That happens. It happens regularly. It's wicked. So we're going to bring it into the community court, and none of that operates there. Well, so all those guys, the attorney, the prosecutor, the judge, they all have to answer.
They're going to say that, the IRS, they're going to say that, the IRS had perfect, they had the absolute perfect amount of evidence, Scott Schneider, to show that Pastor Hovind and anybody that surrounded him were indeed part of an extremist group. They did commit tax evasion, because Pastor Hovind, he would talk about in his books the IRS and how it's from Puerto Rico, which is absolutely absurd. And he would direct people to the actual evidence and books that other people wrote. And although he said it wasn't his dragon to slay, he would direct people down a rabbit hole. And so, yeah, that is extremist, anti-government, anti-tax. And he did commit tax evasion because he did not withhold taxes from his employees, even though they paid it on their own. That is criminal. So that, I mean, what are you talking about?
Well, we can put the IRS agent that claimed that Kent Hovind had a duty to withhold funds from those workers. He will not say he did. He will not. I guarantee it, because there is no law that says he does. We've done this many times in court. The IRS will not testify to that, because as soon as he testifies it, he's personally liable, and he could lose a great deal of his wealth for that false testimony. Because we're gonna subpoena him to seek him. We're gonna tell him to bring in all the evidence that Kent Hovind had a legal duty, a written legal duty, to withhold funds from those workers. He's gonna have 30 days to gather it from hundreds and hundreds of lawyers in the IRS, can work on this and get it together. You know what? On that day, he's not going to have it. Now, if he was in a U.S. court, the judge would just simply use all kinds of ways to say that he doesn't have to testify to that. But in this Seventh Amendment court, he's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to have an attorney who's not allowed to operate in the Seventh Amendment court. The judge is only a referee. The jury has full power. So, once Scott Snyder's put in the witness chair and he doesn't answer that, it's going to go out on the internet to hundreds of millions of people worldwide.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to allow this. I don't think they're going to allow this hearing just because of that.
No.
Because if we've done it many times. We've had IRS agents in the witness stand. And there is no evidence. See, Kent wasn't doing business on government land. Kent wasn't doing business or the ministry wasn't on government land. The ministry wasn't doing anything associated with the United States. There was no tax duty relationship. Zero. None. Nothing at all.
So, but...
And the IRS agent has to claim it before he can...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
So I can't call back because you're going to be out of money. But once the IRS claims that he had that duty, we can ask the IRS agent to produce the evidence of that duty. He's not going to be able to do it. I promise you. Studied this stuff for over 10 years. We beat the IRS over 50 times. He don't have it. It's their biggest fear. Okay. In the U.S. court, the cases are sealed when we win these.